A Last Refuge by Tony Angelo. First came the chill. A sudden cold snap stole the heat from my bones, even though the thermostat read 72. I tugged my old sweater tighter, feeling a shiver that wasn't just from the temperature. It felt like something more, a bad feeling deep down. I'm Arthur Penhaligon, mid-50s, data analyst, always single, and a creature of habit. At least, I thought I was. Tonight, my routines were going haywire. Worry gnawed at my stomach, tightening with every imaginary tick of the old clock in the hall. I hadn't wound that thing in ages. On top of that, I was starving for carbs. My kitchen, usually full of healthy food, was calling me with the tempting smells of bread and pasta. Crazy. I had eaten a good meal just an hour before. I tried to ignore it, pacing around. Then came symptom number 2. My legs felt like they needed to run, to escape something I couldn't see. I rubbed them, stretched, but the feeling stayed. A weird itch under my skin. Too much coffee, I mumbled, even though I'd been drinking decaf since 2 p.m. My normal, orderly world was falling apart. I sat back at my desk, my screens glowing around me. An algorithm pulsed on one, a crazy mix of logic and chaos. My boss, Dr. Angelo, at Cognitive Solutions, Inc., which sounds creepy, wanted me to comb through stock market info, searching for anything odd that happened before a big crash. They called it Project Last Refuge, which seemed like a weird name for money stuff. But I couldn't concentrate. My mind kept bouncing from thought to thought, fear to fear. Was the back door locked? Had I heard something upstairs? I usually like the hum of my server, but now it felt like a sinister heartbeat in time with my own. I squeezed my eyes shut to try and clear my head. I saw flashes, a dark hallway, a falling feeling, a bright light. I gasped and opened my eyes. Nothing, just my office and city sounds outside my windows. My heart was pounding. This wasn't normal. I couldn't sleep properly anymore. I don't think I've slept good in days or weeks. Time felt weird. Did I even sleep last night? No idea. Every morning felt the same. I wake up tired, and I never even remember going to bed. I stood up again, the restless feeling now a complete pain in the butt. Looking in the dark monitor, I saw a worn-out guy I barely knew. My eye twitched. My hand shook as I reached for water. The glass slipped and shattered on the floor. A hypnic jerk. That must be it. A muscle thing when you're falling asleep. Except I was wide awake. This was the third one tonight. First, I dropped my pen. Next, I bumped into the wall and hurt my shoulder. They were getting worse. My body felt like a puppet being yanked around. I knelt to pick up the glass, my mind going crazy. What if it wasn't stress? What if I was sick in the head? The thought scared me more than the cold. I'm usually calm, collected, logical. This chaos felt out of place. I needed sleep ASAP. My brain felt like a mess of wires, each one buzzing. I tossed my clothes off and got into bed. The sheets felt damp and sticky. The pillow kept being too soft, then too hard. I shot awake in the dark. I was a mess of thoughts. Numbers, market stuff, Dr. Angelo's weird smile, old pretzels, sheep counting. Every thought was like a stab at my peace. Hours passed, or minutes, or days. I had no clue. My timing was all messed up. I drifted in and out of a hazy state where I knew what was going on around me. The dim lights from the street, a siren, the drip from the sink. But I couldn't actually fall asleep. I was watching myself try to sleep. It felt like torture. Then, the floor just gave out. I was at my desk, looking at the numbers on the screen. They started to move, forming a swirling mess. I felt sick to my stomach. Prosody. The floor vanished, replaced by darkness and the roar of the server growing louder and louder. I fell into the abyss of my thoughts, fears, and racing mind. The cold grabbed my heart. I was falling in numbers and symbols, each one a bad memory. I hit something, knocking the wind out of me. I gasped, snapping awake. I was slumped over my desk, my head on my arm, the keys pushing into my face. The screens glowed. I was sweating, and my heart pounded. I sat up, aching all over. My lips felt dry, my throat sore. I looked around. Everything was normal, but the broken glass was gone. My water glass was full. Then real terror hit me. The glass had broken. I picked it up. Did I just dream that? No, it was too real. But here it was, fixed. I looked at the screen. Something about the algorithm had changed. The patterns were different, more complex, almost personal. I looked at the lines, and I felt a strange feeling. This wasn't just market data. This was a brain thing. A memory flashed. A secret project. Dr. Angelo's blank face. I remembered signing a paper, saying I was okay with a revolutionary sleep method. I just thought it was a way to get more work out of us. Now, it was a trap. I grabbed for my phone, but it was dead. My landline, too. The internet went out. I was alone. Panic took over. I ran to the door, locked. Of course, the lock felt wrong, too heavy. I looked through the peephole. Nothing. A swirl of gray mist. The fall, that was outside. I backed away, scared. This wasn't my place. Or it was, but it wasn't really. Something felt wrong. The whole setup was made to trick someone. The cold, the hunger, the worry, the restless legs, the tiredness that never went away. These weren't just stress. They were something else. I looked at the data, the brain patterns, the nerves, the signals. I was looking at the things of feelings and memories. I was studying it as if it was just data to see, but it wasn't. It was me. My body was filled with sharp needles. The images on the screen flashed parts of my life. My childhood home, an argument with my ex, the smell of grass, my mom's smile, my dad's disappointment, fears and regrets out on display to be analyzed. I realized it all at once. I wasn't studying money. I was studying myself. My brain, my consciousness, my life was the data for Project Last Refuge. A calm, emotionless voice broke through my fear. It wasn't a voice from inside me, but from somewhere else. Subject, Penhaligon. Fine. Brain action is high. Work rate is 98.7%. I jumped. My head slammed back. My vision blurred, then cleared, with a look at a light. I wasn't in my place. I was trapped. Wires were all over my head, and tubes ran into my arm. I saw people in white coats, moving around, their faces blurry. The server sound came from machines, keeping me asleep. Another voice, Closer this time, clearer. It seems Project Last Refuge is working out. Dr. Angelo. His mind is tying stuff to the sleeper things to guess brain actions. He's building a fake world in his fears. My heart froze. Dr. Angelo. He made this. He was watching my mind do work. The Last Refuge wasn't about money. It was about using human minds, turning sleep into control. The cravings, the restlessness, the cold, the falling, the confusion, all side effects of my brain being pushed too far, making the plans for this whole trap. I was the test dummy, making my prison, studying my torture. The clues I had been looking for turned into bad sleeping feelings. What the last refuge would be, that there would be no leaving. My body was stuck, but my mind had become an inescapable trap, and my brains helped make it as close to perfect as possible. The apartment flashed back, the server noise becoming the only sound. The light gone. I slumped in my chair, the calculations laid bare in front of me. I knew that there was no such things as waking up from it all. My mind had turned from the system in place and had become a masterpiece of torment. I was the prisoner of Project Last Refuge.